Good morning, I'm Nikki,
And I'm Bear.
and this is a Monday Coffee with Chicks, where we scan through last week's news and updates from across the Atlassian universe. The links for the sources of the topics we are going to discuss today are linked in the description or in the comment below, depending on what platform you are on. So, the first news that we are going to look at today is a demo announcement. You can watch the demo of top 5 admin control features focusing on administration and user management in Jira. Features covered in this demo are sandbox, release tracks, automatic product discovery, authentication policies, and automatic user provisioning. You can watch the demo on demand, and to access that, just click on the link in this post, and you need to fill up a short form, and then you can access the demo itself. So definitely have a look on that if you're administrator in Jira or you're just taking care of your Jira instance in your organization. It might be interesting for you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. Right. So this is an interesting event co-hosted by Atlassian and automation consultants with the focus on exploring cloud. The event has an impressive lineup of speakers. The event is also, sorry, yeah, the event is held over a day, and the agenda is rich with topics like cloud migration, ITSM, Jira dashboards, automation, and more. This is planned for next Thursday on 8th, so grab your tickets now while you can.
There is quite a lot of commotion around this event. Like every day or every 2 days, there's a post about it on the community since the last week. So it might be huge. Okay, so the next app is the event as well, but a little bit different.
Yeah,
Just sharing my screen here.
yeah.
So this event is actually the Atlassian community initiative called Atlimpics, and it was announced last week. So it's a competition to test your product knowledge and to make friends in the community itself. The Atlimpics will run from 23rd July to 8 August. And if you are interested, there is a sign up form in this post again. There will be 12 events in total across this time period, and the winners will then receive a badge and the medal. And if you're scared that your product skills or something like that might not be enough, don't be worried. It's really for everyone. Everyone should be equal in this challenge. And there will be categories. Community leaders, community members, and Atlassian team members that will be competing against each other. So there is definitely category for everyone, and you can join that event now. I'm quite curious how the medal is going to look like. So I'm enrolled in that as well, and I'm challenged to win it. So
Just because of the metal,
yes,
metal. Okay.
I really want that medal.
Okay. All right, so cloud performance update. There have been significant push for improving performance in the cloud products lately, and this announcement is yet another move in the right direction, I would say. Atlassian introduced a while ago the single page application framework, and since then have been porting pieces of Jira and Confluence to it. SPAs, how they're called, bring massive improvements to performance and overall user experience because with this approach, basically, with every tab change, you progressively load more information instead of complete page loads that require reloading entire bundles of libraries and assets. So there's no wonder that they managed to improve speed by 2x on components they recently ported, like the dashboards, backlog, and roadmaps. Additionally, this announcement introduces improvements to to Confluent server-side rendering, which should help those with older or slower machines as well.
These are quite good cloud improvements. And speaking of cloud improvements, I have here ready something else as well. So the last week, if you use Jira on daily basis, you might notice a change. The priority icons in the cards and on the backlog and in the issue detail itself got an upgrade. And you can see in this post the comparison of an old and the new icons. So let me just make sure you can see it properly here. And you can notice that the old icons had usually one single shape and they just differed in the colors itself. Now the new icons were made more accessible to have a different shape for each meaning and also a different color. And you can also see in this post the whole process of making these new icons, which is quite interesting. So you can see the first initial exploration and the sketches, and then more real explorations and the further explorations, and how it all went through the user testing itself as well. So these are quite good improvements. I think the people who are, for example, complaining about not being able to differentiate between the different priority icons on the small resolution screens or when they were presenting, or even the people who have some problems with the vision or are colorblind. I think this is very useful improvement for them.
Right. Yeah, it looks really nice. It looks really nice.
I got really surprised last week. I noticed it immediately because all the tickets got the who were medium had like a two line, so I was like, oh, what was that? But then I read the post and I was like, yeah, it changed.
Let's go. Okay, let's go to the next bit. All right. So this is about the security, the basically related to some findings on the security bounty program that has uncovered some misuses of permission functions in cloud apps, which meant that through some apps, a user would be able to gain access to information they would otherwise not have access to. Now, most likely, vendors have fixed these issues when raised by security researchers. After all, that's the purpose of the bug bounty program. But in order to help guide developers to avoid such mistakes in the future, Atlassian has produced some changes to their API endpoints. The Connect frameworks, there's some upgrades there, and improved their security guide documentation. So if you're a developer building Atlassian apps, this one should be a must read for you.
Great. And on the brighter note, here I have final news, which is an article of the week. So this time we will look at. Oh, let just jumped here. Let me go back. So we will look at the article on the Atlassian blog called "Video Games Can Help Your Team Work Smarter." So this article is for everyone who is still not really convinced if playing video games as a team building activity is a good idea. Actually, one study they mentioned showed that playing games for 45 minutes with your team makes you up to 20% more productive, which is quite good. So I would really consider that. And the video games also improve strategic thinking, budgeting, problem solving, and leadership skills, which is not as surprising when you think about it. And you can and this article also brings you different ideas how to go beyond the Counter Strike sessions to make the events more inclusive to everyone. So there are games mentioned, like for example Among Us, the board games on Tabletopia, and so on, which makes these sessions much easier. So you can definitely go through the article. There are some tips completely on the bottom over here, so you can have a look on them if there is something you could play with your team as well.
I mean, we do that quite a bit as well. We moved away from Counter Strike.
Yes.
But anyways, that's about it for the news about Atlassian this week. I hope you enjoy Monday Coffee with Jigsaw, whether you're watching us live or recorded later. Just a reminder, links for all of the topics we discussed today are in the description, so don't forget to check them out. And if you have any suggestions on what we should be talking about next week, let us know in comments. See you next Monday at 9:30 and have a great week.
Have a great week, everyone.